Alright folks, let's talk about Avowed, the upcoming RPG from Obsidian Entertainment that is set to drop on the 18th of February on Steam and Xbox Game Pass. The big question on most people's mind is whether or not it's worth picking this game up on launch day. And, well, I have my answer, but let's break down some main reasons why you should be thinking about the game, or at least to help you gauge whether or not you think it is worth picking up on launch day. First off, let's talk about the folks behind Avowed. This is Obsidian we're talking about, the same studio that brought us The Outer Worlds, Pillars of Eternity, and one of the best Fallout entries, New Vegas. If there's one thing they know how to do, it's crafting deep, choice-driven RPG experiences, and Avowed? It's their take on the open-world first-person RPG set in the world of Pillars of Eternity. That alone is enough to get RPG fans excited. Now, let's talk about setting, because Avowed takes place in Eora, the same world as Pillars of Eternity, but this time we're getting a first-person, up-close and personal look at it. Of course, you can play the game not in first person, you can also play it in third person, but Obsidian is best known for the gameplay in first person, so I like to focus on that aspect of how the game will probably be pursued by the majority of the population playing the game. From what we've seen so far, the world is rich with lore, stunning landscapes, and some seriously intriguing factions. Not just another medieval fantasy RPG. It has that distinct Obsidian touch where every location feels lived in, every character has depth, and your choices actually matter. And Obsidian has proved time and time again that they can craft immersive, believable worlds. Think about Fallout New Vegas, a wasteland filled with factions, hidden secrets, and morally complex decisions that made every playthrough unique. Or The Outer Worlds, where each planet felt like its own ecosystem, shaped by corporate greed and survival. Even Pillars of Eternity delivered a world teeming with political intrigue and ancient mysteries that begged to be unraveled. If Avowed follows these footsteps, we are in for an incredibly engaging world where exploration feels rewarding and absolutely meaningful. Okay, but what about gameplay? From the previews, we know that Avowed is mixing melee combat, ranged attacks, and spellcasting in a way that looks super fluid. Think Skyrim meets The Outer Worlds with more refined RPG elements. If you like dual-wielding a sword and casting fireballs at the same time, this might be your next obsession. And let's not forget, Obsidian has a solid track record when it comes to satisfying combat mechanics. Fallout New Vegas introduced unique weapon mods and a rich variety of playstyles that made each build feel distinct. The Outer Worlds added tactical, time dilation, and entertaining range combat that gave players a creative edge. Even Pillars of Eternity, though an isometric RPG, had deep party-based combat systems with highly customizable abilities. If Avowed brings that same level of depth and variety, we're in for a combat system that offers both flexibility and impact. Plus, with Obsidian's track record, we can expect meaningful character builds that actually impact how you play. Now, we can't talk about an Obsidian game without mentioning story and choices. One of the things they do best is making sure your decisions actually shape the world around you. Avowed is promising deep faction interactions, multiple quest solutions, and the kind of morally gray choices that make you stop and think. Whether you want to be a hero, a rogue, or something in between, the game will let you carve out your own path. And let's be honest, Obsidian has mastered the art of making your choices feel impactful. Remember New Vegas, where siding with the NCR, Caesar's Legion, or Mr. House completely shifted the endgame? Or The Outer Worlds, where you could talk your way out of almost anything, including convincing a group of colonists to accept being frozen again. Don't even get me started on Pillars of Eternity, where I once made a seemingly small dialogue choice that led to an entire village hating me for the rest of the game. One of my personal favorites actually are from The Outer Worlds, where I sweet-talked my way into a corporate executive's good graces, only to immediately sell out their entire operations moments later. Pure chaos, but the game fully acknowledged it. That's the kind of reactive storytelling Obsidian excels at. If Avowed continues this trend, expect to see long-term consequences, unique dialogue options based on your stats, and plenty of opportunities to shape your journey in ways that feel meaningful and very unique to your choices. Performance-wise, everything we've seen so far looks pretty smooth. It's running on Unreal Engine 5, and while it may not be aiming for ultra photorealism, it has a distinct art style that definitely pops. More importantly though, Obsidian's been taking notes from past releases, meaning we should expect a solid, polished experience at launch. Nothing that will require you to wait months for patches. Now, if you're wondering about system requirements, expect something similar to the other Unreal Engine 5 titles. For smooth gameplay, you'll likely need at least an Intel i5 8 series or a Ryzen 5 2600. You're going to need probably at a minimum 16 gigabytes of RAM and a GTX 1060 or RX 580. If you've played Lords of the Fallen or Remnant 2 recently, you can expect a comparable performance profile here. So, should you jump into Avowed on launch day? Honestly, yeah, it's shaping up to be a fantastic RPG experience, and if you're a fan of Obsidian's previous work, you'll feel right at home. Deep story, compelling choices, engaging combat, and what's not to love? Let me know in the comments if you are planning to play it on day one, and as always, hit the like and subscribe button so I know that you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the world of Avowed.